Hello and welcome to AIC Reviews. Today I'm doing a series of reviews. I'll post them separately, not all in one video, of a few different cell phones that I picked up recently for T-Mobile, obviously, as you see on the box. The first one I'm going to do is the LG K7. Now this is a slightly newer phone that just came out for T-Mobile. It is a 4G LTE capable, if my camera will focus. It's got a 5-inch screen, 5 megapixel camera with flash, but what's nice, it has a 5 megapixel front facing camera as well. It's a quad core processor and Wi-Fi calling. That's on the box. As you can see, I've already taken it out of the box. I picked this up from Best Buy. There's a special on it, but typically it runs about $70 to $100 depending on where you buy it from. Now, what came in the box, it was fairly simple. It came with the phone, battery, the USB cable, and a wall charger. Fairly simple, fairly basic, and a SIM card if you need one. Here's the phone itself. As I said, I've already pulled it out of the box, put it together, and I've actually been using it. Now, one of the biggest problems I've had with the Android phones I've been using, this is an Android phone, the battery life on them has been pretty terrible. And I just want to show you something before I get going any further. Is I pulled this off the charger last night about 8 o'clock, and I've been using it all, it was off the charger all night long, using it all day, and it is now to 7%. So about the time I pulled it off last night, so about 24 hours, and it did last all day with some phone calls, email. I have 2 different email accounts set up on there. And so first things first, so far I like the battery life on it. Now just to go over the design of the phone itself, first thing about it is this is a very inexpensive phone, sub $100 phone, and despite that price, it actually feels far more expensive than that. I've had other higher end phones. I had a Samsung Galaxy S4 when it came out, and that, despite being a fairly expensive phone, felt very cheap. And this, for a very cheap phone, feels a little bit more premium. One of the things about it, if you look at the screen, the edges are actually slightly curved down. I don't know if you can catch that quite in the reflection of the computer monitor. And that's kind of the rage right now with the Galaxy Edge phones, and so that design is definitely, that aesthetic is definitely there. Obviously the screen doesn't go all the way to the edge, so it doesn't curve. One thing that's very different about LG phones is a lot of them have these 3 buttons here in the back. The middle button is the power, volume up, volume down. Obviously that's the camera and that's the flash. I actually really, at first I didn't think I would like this design before I actually got my hands on an LG with the buttons here in the back. But having that power button and the volume rocker in the back of the phone means that they're easily accessible from either hand. You're not having to reach all the way across. And this isn't a very big phone, but some phones with a larger, 5.5 or even pushing 6-inch screens, where you really have to reach around the phone to get to either side, having them there in the back actually makes it a lot easier. Go ahead and take the phone apart. And this is nice because the battery is removable. And there's the battery. It's a 2045 milliamp hour battery. It has a micro SIM and a micro SD card slot. It snaps back together, and now once the cover is back on, it has a very nice feel to it. This is a slightly rubberized, textured back, so it has a nice feel in the hand, and it doesn't feel like you're going to slip out of your hand or drop it. Now, one thing on it is the screen resolution is fairly low, but I don't feel that it's too low. It doesn't feel like it detracts from the screen. It has a nice brightness to it, does not grainy at all, and it's easy to read the screen. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull out another Android phone that I've been using and just kind of compare them against each other. Alright, so I just want to compare the K7, the LG K7 next to a phone I've had for a while. This is the HT Desire 626. I did do a review on this a little bit ago. It's more of a, a little bit more of an overview. And while there's definitely some things I liked about the phone, there are also some things I didn't like about the phone. One of the biggest detractors from the Desire is simply the battery life. I plugged this phone in, charged it to 100%. Sorry, I'm trying to get my camera to focus. Turned it off, so actually powered off, and put it in my electronics drawer. And I just pulled it out, so it's been about not quite a week. And being powered off, it's already down to 19%. The battery life on this phone is pretty horrendous. It maybe lasts a third of a day before it has to be charged. I do like its overall design. I like the color scheme. I think it's definitely something interesting and stands out when people see it. It's gray with kind of a red-orange border and lettering on the back, where the K7 is more of a classic looking design. As I said, it has that slightly curved screen on either side, which definitely follows current design aesthetics. This one stands out a little bit more. The phones have similar specs, where the HTC Desire is slightly upgraded. They both have the same quad-core processor. They both have a 5-inch screen. However, the Desire has a much higher resolution screen on it over the LG. I don't know if that comes out in the video here. The Desire has an 8 megapixel camera, where the LG has a 5 megapixel rear-facing camera. They come with similar features as far as what comes out of the box. You get the phone, battery. Obviously, the battery in the HTC is not removable. You can't pull the battery cover off. You can only access the memory card and SIM card slots from here on the side with this little flap. The HTC does have 1.5 megs of memory, where the LG does not. They're both running the same version of Android 5.1. Obviously, they're a little bit different. The HTC is running its overlay over the top of it. Now, with the price difference between these two, this phone is about $130, $140, depending on where you buy it. This one, again, between $70 and $100, depending on where you buy it. I would definitely pick up the LG. Few reasons. Number one, you have the removable battery, which to me is important to be able to, if you are in a pinch, to replace that battery. Phones can last a lot longer than their batteries, and to have to replace an entire phone just because the battery's gone bad, not really acceptable to me. Plus, I can customize it. I like replacing the battery covers and putting a different color or a different style on there. I also like its battery life, as even though they have similar sized batteries, this one lasts significantly longer. I'm assuming it's because of the screen resolution, that the processor on this one has to work a lot harder than the processor on this one. Even though this has half a gig less of memory, because this has 1.5 gigs and this has a 1 gig of memory. This one actually feels snappier, and I think it's because of the resolution of the screen. I think this one has to work a lot harder to give you the resolution. Now it does look a lot nicer, a lot cleaner, a lot crisper than the LG. Oh, yeah, it's telling me my battery's low. So just on the home screen, let me turn the brightness up on this one if I can. There we go. So similar brightness there. The HTC is definitely a little bit crisper. If I just load similar applications, you see how much quicker the LG is, even though with the same processor and less memory. The LG is actually snappier, even though you can tell the resolution where it says, similar color, similar lettering there. The LG has less resolution, less megapixels, or less pixel density, I should say. I haven't taken many pictures with the LG yet, and so as far as the picture quality, I don't have an opinion on that yet, but I don't use my cell phone as a camera other than the occasional snapshot, so it's not super critical as far as camera resolution goes for me. I usually just take pictures of things like serial numbers and stuff to save for later. They both record in 720p, and if it was my money, it would be the LG every single time. Alright, thank you for watching.